Hello. We've finally had some patches of fine weather here lately. I say patches because it has not been completely fine. It's just doing that thing where it cycles between raining and sunny every hour or so. But that's better than completely raining, isn't it? So I've been taking this opportunity to do a little bit of FPV testing with some planes. And one reason I wanted to try this was because I have a couple of planes that I intended to FPV and I have not yet. But now that I have that little, that nifty little air chain thingy, it makes it very easy to switch or just quickly stick an FPV unit onto the plane and get it flying. So that's one reason I've been doing this. And another reason is that I also now have a pair of Fat Shark goggles. So they're very easy to perch up on your forehead and just quickly switch between line of sight and FPV in the middle of a flight, which is not so easy to do with the Facebox kind of goggles. And anyway, so that's what I've been doing. This video is probably not going to be anything very exciting, but I'm just so happy that we've been getting some sunshine at least here. So the first test I did, this plane, obviously I have flown this one FPV before, this is not new, but it occurred to me that I had not done a range test, so I wanted to fly it out as far as I could and see whether the video would give out first or the control would give out first. And I was only flying with the normal, I was not using the helical antenna on the receiver, I was just using the normal Spironet circularly polarized cloverleaf thingy that comes with the Fat Shark goggles. And I managed to get out to 1.6 kilometers with no problems on the video, and I actually kind of forgot that I wasn't using the helical, it was going so well. But at that point I lost control, and I'm just showing you this photo because I wanted to point out where the antennas are. I have one of them up there and the other one is embedded in the wing at right angles. The camera was originally not that close to them. The camera was originally slung underneath the front here, and you can see the holes where I've had the Velcro there, but unfortunately that on a crash that ripped, this little square got ripped out, so I put it over here. And that's how I've been running things. And you'll also notice that, I don't know if anybody's watching this saw my other video where I was flying this FPV, but I used to use this Runcam 2 as my FPV camera by using the AV out to plug into the video transmitter, but you'll see here that I'm not doing that anymore. I'm using a dedicated board cam, and the reason was that in one of my earlier trips when I was going out to test the range, I got about a kilometer away, everything was going very, very well, and then all of a sudden I was looking at the Runcam splash screen that the camera shows when it starts up. So I wasn't very impressed with that because the video didn't come back. All I could see after the splash screen went away was static, and so I had to go out there and try and find it, which I fortunately did, and it wasn't crashed. I mean, it was crashed. I mean, it wasn't damaged, so that was fine. So I will never again use this camera as my sole video link to fly FPV by. I will use it as an HD camera to record the video, which is very good at, but I'm not going to use it for FPV. I'm going to use a proper board camera like this for that. Anyway, so let's have a look at a bit of the video that I got there, and I'll just speed it up. Not really that exciting, but let's have a look anyway. Oh yeah, and another reason that I'm uploading this particular test is that I uploaded a video a while ago where I got 2.3 kilometers on my quadcopter with this FlySky radio, and a lot of people got excited and thought, wow, that's great, I can do that too. And I think though I might have just got a little bit lucky with that one, because when you put the antennas into the wing, like I have done in this case, it seems to give you much less range. I'm not really sure if that's all it is, or maybe each receiver has better or worse characteristics that helps one of them perform better than another one. But whatever the reason, there's no way I'm going to get any more than 1.5, maybe 1.6 kilometers at the most with this particular receiver and setup. So I just wanted to sort of give a little bit of caution to anybody who thought they might be able to go out and fly 2.5 kilometers or something with one of these radios. Might not be as lucky as I was that time. So that half round shed on the bottom left there is the 1.3 kilometer mark. Thought I'd circle around the shed just to check that my video was good in every angle, and at that point I lost control briefly, so I decided to come straight back. I was only running with a 1000 milliamp hour battery, so I didn't really have much flight time overall. And this is actually my second flight. My first flight I got to about 1.5 kilometers at the end of that dirt road just beyond the shed. I actually cut this flight short a little bit because I didn't like the look of those clouds on the horizon. I've learned not to underestimate how quickly they can arrive.
Well, there goes that little patch of blue sky that was giving us the sun just before. Come back! Come back, blue sky! Oh. This sucks.
So the next plane I tested was the ready-made RC Mako, otherwise known as the Hobby King Skyray, I think. And this being the second plane that I ever had, it had a pretty tough time in the early days, and the nose cone that's supposed to be on there, both of them in fact, are completely destroyed. So it still flies okay like this, and hopefully you don't crash into anything hard and puncture your battery. But it flies fine, and I kind of forgot that this video transmitter was only 25 milliwatt one, but I didn't go too far away anyway. So nothing really interesting about this from a testing perspective. I just wanted to fly this plane FPV because that's what I bought it to do, and I had never actually done it yet, so I'll just show you a little bit of footage from that. And the last plane I tested was this one, the flight test mini arrow. I never really got this flying very well, but I thought it's probably easier to fly an FPV anyway, so I'd give it a shot. I had, yeah, this is something I should mention about this VTX unit. I was powering this one from the receiver pins, and the receiver is powered from a Hobby King Blue Series 12 amp ESC, the BEC inside that ESC. And I had horrible problems in that every time I touched the pitch or roll to move the servos, I would get a nasty black and white line, horizontal line in my video feed. Surprisingly, it wasn't a problem when I used the throttle. I would have thought the throttle, if anything, would be a problem as well. But no, it was just when I was touching the servo to move, the elevons. So I gave a little test before I started flying, and I knew this was going to be a problem, but I wanted to fly it anyway, and because it was sunny again, I just soldiered on and managed to fly it until I drained this battery completely flat. For some reason I couldn't hear the battery alarm going off, which was a bit unfortunate because this was a brand new battery. This was its first flight, so that was a pity. And apart from that though, this plane still a little bit unstable, but it's quite fast and it's very agile. So if I could just get this issue with the BEC figured out, and I'll give it another flight, and I think it would be lots of fun. Yeah, it feels like you're flying a fighter jet or something. You can just do rolls really quickly, and a lot of the time when I was turning, I found that I was about 90 degrees almost, at 90 degrees to horizontal to pull a nice high G turn. So it was all around, it was quite fun to fly. Yeah, so just the camera issue with this.
Well, look at that, it's raining again. And there goes my blue sky, sneaking away into the distance again. I suppose overall it's better to have some sunny patches than none at all, but God, this is annoying.